Let's go.
What is up, everybody? Raji the Rager here. And before we get into the review, I just wanted to let you all know, despite what's going on in the world, I hope you and your families are doing well through this pandemic. I hope we can make it through it. And just continue doing what you're doing. Stay home, all right? By going outside, you're putting everyone else in danger, and it's a total dick move on your end, all right? So stay the fuck home, keep washing your hands, and keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, let's get into the review. Okay, so this is what happens when you market the hell out of your game and completely rush it. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted more out of Resident Evil 3 Remake, but sadly, it's a huge fucking disappointment. I'm not trying to interpret it's a horrible game, it's actually decent. It's what you think it is. Resident Evil 3 that plays like Resident Evil 2. However, it fails to be better than, if not good as either of them. If I didn't know better, I'd say this is just a DLC for Resident Evil 2 Remake. Seriously, I'm not joking. That's how half-assed it feels in comparison. A shitload of content was removed that was from the original. Man, for example, I was looking forward to the park and the clock tower, which were really important levels in the game. I mean, well, in the original game, honestly. I mean, I get there are some interesting new ideas, but cutting great content that was made from, made the original game great, my bad, shouldn't have been an option. Moving on to the gameplay aspect of things, let's talk about Nemesis first. I keep hearing mixed perceptions on him, but my personal opinion on Nemesis is that he's a fucking joke. I mean, he's ass. And he's barely terrifying, to be honest. In this, he doesn't even live up to his name. He's totally fucking scripted heavily. The big guy only makes an appearance when you do something. Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 actually searches throughout the precinct, and although he was a lot slower and didn't use weapons, he actually felt terrifying. Oh man, I realized Nemesis was scripted and original, but it was down better because he felt like he was more of a monster than an annoyance. Well, I guess we can move on to boss fights now. Well, the boss fights, Nemesis, uh, the boss fights, I'm gonna be honest, they're horribly done. The first fight was okay, but then next, the last fight was decent. I'm not gonna spoil that for you, even though it was kind of weird. But it does the same thing as the original did, if I remember correctly. But the two second fights with a Nemesis, they were horribly done. The scenery of the construction site with the first fight was pretty decent taking on Nemesis, although the fight felt like a cat and mouse game with a Tom and Jerry situation. It was pretty cool to see the whole construction site come down while you're fighting him or whatever, being engulfed in flames. But the next fight, like I said, poorly designed. Okay, I could tell you about this one. For some reason, all of a sudden, fire affects him. So he falls into the water and mutates into a huge reptile thing. Like, what? When fighting him, I like died 4 times. I thought like I was doing something wrong or the game was fucked, honestly. And like, come on, I was lighting mine rounds at him, fire rounds, and and it was just horrible. The fight was just poorly integrated, and he would run up on these buildings and everything. And you would have to shoot these things at him, and it would. And when he climbs the tower, that's where the clock tower is. You could fight. Fight in front of it, but you can't go inside of it. Weird, huh? But yeah, I would try to shoot him, and he would not come down. I would miss all the time, but I eventually got him. Honestly, whew. Yeah, the second fight, third fight, my bad. The third fight is kind of the same deal, except Carlos, he helps you out, and yeah, you're swarmed by monsters while you do so, but it wasn't as fun either. It was easier, but it was just the same thing. He runs around the arena while you're shooting him, or sewer area. Don't know which area that was really. Moving on to the zombies, the enemies. They're pretty rough, but that's to be expected for a Resident Evil game. However, what really annoys me is that when Jill will be in these dark ass areas and not turn on her damn flashlight. If you've seen my fucking streams, you know how many times that pisses me off because I always I'm getting nabbed because I can't see what's coming into the next to the last minute. In the length of the campaign, the length of the campaign, like 5 to 6 hours. What the fuck, Capcom? Really? This is what you call a $60 game? Spin it off from Resident Evil 2 Remake. Really? That's what you fucking call it? Really? Okay, you know what? Before I blood vessel, I know I seem a little cool, but this shit is annoying me just dwelling on this. I'll talk about a few things that I do like in a game. Jill and Carlos, for example, they are awesome characters. Jill was well designed, beautiful, well acted, and she has this down to earth vibe despite what's going on. She, has experience with it. I mean, experience with it. And Carlos, he's fucking hilarious with all of his one-liners, and he's more like a superhero than anything. Although Jill constantly shoots him down, his confidence, just never ever wavers. And yeah, the storyline really makes you want to read the missing documents, especially in the USPC. I'm hoping I'm getting the acronym right. The zombies come in a lot of packs, so you better get ready to bust your gun as well. Um, and don't bother trying to run past them if there's more than three coming towards you. I honestly learned that the hard way. Man, there are also a few new enemies like the Hunter Bee, the sewer monsters that will gobble you whole if you get too close. I mean, and these insects from the original game will put maggots down your throat. I know, gross, and you would need a herb to get it out. Perverted ass creatures. Wow. All right. Raccoon City seems to has a more simplistic design than the original, but it does look stunning, and it's nice to see that backtracking is still nicely designed to show it can still work in newer games. However, the environments are blocked off by cars and barricades and are narrow, so like running away is barely an option. But like I said, pretty much it was like the original, so I'll give them a pass on that one. While the game has quite a few redeeming factors, it still feels like they rushed the game and literally started it after finishing Resident Evil 2 Remake, which was a year ago, and it feels so inconsistent. That being said, I'm rating it a 6.5 out of 10. At first, I was going to give it a 7, but bringing all of this up made me realize it isn't a 7. It's hard to believe IGN gave this shit a 9. Like, what the fuck? I'm starting to think they actually accept bribes from reviewers because they are just so fucking easy. For me to give a game a 7, it has to feel like it is at least worth $60. Resident Evil 3 Remake wasn't, and honestly, I'd wait for sales or the game to drop down a lot for you to get it. I love Resident Evil, but Capcom needs to stop rushing things, and I haven't given up on them completely. And I hear they're making a Resident Evil 4 remake. Who knows? I hope they don't fuck that one up because that's my favorite. Alright, so yeah, thank you for viewing. I hope you guys are doing well despite what's going on. And, bye.